knowledge landscape and the increasing application of modern technology across sectors, there is a huge demand for a newly digital skilled workforce. With the employment landscape changing drastically, it is becoming critical for students not only to learn but learn how to learn. It is also an opportunity for colleges to be amongst the few that are industry ready. I would now like to invite Mona Bharadwaj, currently heads Global University Programs at IBM India. A seasoned professional with over 25 years of experience in the IT industry, Mona is passionate about working with students in bridging the industry-academia skills gap, promoting technology that helps solve real client problems and people management. An engineer in electronics and communications graduating from RVCE Bangalore, she has done varied roles including that of running a startup in the electromechanical space. In her current role, she is responsible for employer branding and technology evangelization initiatives at universities. These initiatives range from technology adoption and improved curriculum for institutes across India through IBM Skills Build, running hackathons and remote mentorship projects for experiential learning, cool technology demos, webinars for improved employability, and fostering innovation through shared university grants. Let's put our hands together for Mona.
It is happening in our homes and offices, our schools, our stores, our cars, our planes, even in our pockets. It is happening in our supply chains and our security systems, in our workforce, in our weather, and in waves of the pandemic. Change. Change is all around us. Change is inevitable. There are those who are content to comfortably sit on the sidelines and watch change happen. And then there are those who lead it. Those who use technology in creative new ways. And what they've set their sights on changing will spark a radical reinvention of how we work and live. So let's get to it. Let's modernize business with the help of hybrid cloud. Let's simplify the way we work with automation and AI. Let's manage risk by taking cybersecurity threats head on. Let's activate a sustainability plan that's good for the planet and good for business. Let's fast forward to the future of computing and discover what's next. IBM, let's create.
Oh, very good morning to each one of you. I've been very personally, eagerly waiting for this event because, it's such a pleasure to be addressing audiences such as yourselves. As someone has rightly said, a teacher is like a candle that burns itself up to give light to the others. And personally, I think, it's really, really heartening for me to be addressing you all, welcoming you all to this event today. IBM's association with academia has been very long-standing, and formally University Relations was set up in 2004. I think a lot of you, I could see so many familiar faces as well, have been associated with us since a long time. And some of you all have actually started to join the journey now. I would welcome each of you. Those who have been there with us, thank you so much. And those who are joining us now, thank you again for being there in this journey with us, to make our students future ready for a better future, for a better citizen of our country. It always reminds me of this nice story whenever I'm talking to faculty, deans, directors, and academic audiences. So I'd like to take just a few minutes to take you all back in time to the 1930s or so, to this small village off the coast of Rameshwaram, where there was this student who lived in a very, very low-income family, and he didn't even have many people who were completing their grade 10 at that time. And looking at his love for learning, his father decided to send him off to a good school in Ramnathpura, which he did. And the student studied extremely well, very hard, and he came out in flying colors. But after that, he wanted to pursue his higher education. for which the family didn't have money. But eventually they mortgaged family jewelry and managed to send him to the institute where he wanted to study, which was Madras Institute of Technology. There, and I can see a lot of people, I think, have recognized who this story is about, but since it's my favorite, I will still complete it. So there, actually, at the institute, he eventually got scholarship. He did extremely well. There was this teacher who noticed his love for aeronautics. So the student was always wowed by how birds would just flap their wings and soar in the skies and, seamlessly fly after that. That he actually had this real love for learning aeronautics. And so this teacher gave the student an assignment saying that, to create a design of a fighter jet plane, which he took up with great enthusiasm. With a couple of his friends, he worked on that, and in about a month's time, he submitted this report to the teacher. And once he submitted the report, the teacher said, "I'm not happy with this." He said, "I expected a lot more from you. And if you do not improve this design in the next 2 days and come back, you will also lose your scholarship." Now, this was like a really threatening thing for the student because there was no way for him to continue education if he did not have the scholarship. So he worked on this design for those 2 days, every minute. He didn't sleep, he didn't eat. He's like really just working on this. And he came out with a really good design of a fighter jet plane and submitted that to his teacher. This time, the teacher really lauded him for his efforts, and he appreciated the student, saying, "You don't know your own capabilities. You're so good at this, but you really need to unleash that potential that you have." And this was none other than Dr. Abdul Kalam himself, whose first design of the fighter jet plane happened that day when his teacher actually asked him to do this again. So sometimes, and not sometimes, I think almost all the times, it does need good institutes, good teachers to bring out the best in the students. And we can see how Dr. Abdul Kalam went on to become such a great leader, inspiring person of our country. And which is why I think I'm always more excited to be talking to academicians, because you all are truly building the future of our country, making our students industry ready for a better future and better tomorrow. So big round of applause to each of you for the wonderful work that you all are doing. It's really exciting to have you here. And personally, I think I'm really delighted that Dr. Buddha could make it today in his busy schedule. And that also shows his commitment towards making a better future for the students of our country. So really welcome, Dr. Buddha. So just setting the tone of the event today. So this is the team that engages from our team with academia. So many of you know Dr. Mani Madhukar, and he manages all of North as well as East in terms of relationships, taking all our programs to colleges. Purnima Iyengar does the same thing for the South and the West as well as so basically the South and the West. We have Jayant, who is leading our marketing. We also have Hema, who is helping us with our operations. So this is the team. I just wanted to take a minute to introduce you all, so you know the roles that we play when we are engaging with you. I think I'll just, in order to set the tone of this event, I'd like to step back and talk to you about why we need skilling. I know all of you here totally agree with the need for skilling, but I'm just going to make a couple of points in the interest of time, because I think there are tons of reasons of why we need skilling. And as you can see, there is this quote that I read recently, which is on the slide, which says, "Without sharpening your weapon, standing on the battlefield would not increase your chances of winning." So today, skills are our weapons, and the battlefield are the vast uncertainties that the future may have in store. Just alluding to the Jobs of Tomorrow report from the World Economic Forum, it is now seen that there are 7 professional clusters that are emerging, which are data and AI, engineering, cloud computing, people and culture, product development, marketing, sales and content. So these are the broad 7 clusters that are emerging in terms of the professions of tomorrow. And we can clearly see that there is a set of professions like the data and AI, engineering, product development, and cloud computing that actually require the need for a student to pick up the new and emerging skills, because these jobs are going to require those. On the other hand, you can see that the already existing skills of human interaction are also going to be required in these jobs of tomorrow, which is in the people and culture, marketing, sales and content, basically the care economy as well. And during the pandemic, we have seen how much the care economy has actually picked up. The second reason why we also need a lot more skilling, especially in our country, is because we all know that there is a huge number of unfulfilled job roles, be it in cloud, be it AI, be it data science, you name it, and name the country, and there is a dearth of people who can actually take up those job roles, be it US, be it China, be it Japan, Russia, anything. And in India also, the economy is set to boom quite a lot by about 2030 because of the rapid industrialization that India is seeing right now. And on the other hand, if you look at it, India actually has a very huge percentage of people who are under the age of 20, which means they are the ones who are set to become the future working population. And India is poised to become the highest supplier of skilled manpower for all those unfulfilled job roles across the globe. So look at the opportunity and the challenge that India has. And I think if we all in this room actually agree that this kind of skilling will help these students to become that manpower that the entire globe needs and what India needs, I think our job is half done. And I can see a lot of nodding faces, which means, we all actually are in agreement with why skilling. Even the Build-a-thon that we had recently over the last couple of months, and I think some of you are there in the audience who have completed the Build-a-thon, was focusing on the Red Hat OpenShift skills. It was on applied data science, data analytics, and AI. And there was not just teaching, but there was also projects. There was experiential learning, which all of you have completed. A big thank you for having completed that. But I'd like to tell you that all of these are also, as you can clearly see, getting closer to fulfilling the jobs of tomorrow. And a teacher is the one who can actually get students ready for those jobs of tomorrow. But why online? I know that, we had good keynote speeches in the morning, and I think a lot of discussion has happened on that already. So I will just take a few minutes only as to why do you think online is the way. I would not say only online, but we still need a lot of online to be able to get our students industry ready. And I'd like to quote Ernest Hemingway, who is a novelist and short story writer, who said, "Change happens in two ways, gradually and then suddenly." I can't find a better way to describe what has happened in the education system. There were such small steps of gradual changes, and then there was like a sudden boom of change that happened. And I think we've all witnessed that. A lot of us are from those decades where, Doordarshan used to be the only news channel. And so I'm sure you all can't agree more that today, you can watch anything that you want on your mobile phone. We have come such a long way. But the reason of being online or getting online skilling, digital skilling added to what exists today, I think is to also be at par with what the future of learning has in store, the future of work has in store. The future of learning is a report that actually came out of a survey that IBM had done a few years ago. I myself was so shocked to see what the pandemic brought about, because this report came out a little before the pandemic. This must have been around 2018 or so. And what it said, based on a survey that was done across many countries, was that the future of learning is going to be immersed in technology, which means that you're going to need connected devices, mobile phones, to be actually attending your sessions, your classrooms. And we saw how in the pandemic, every student actually had to have a mobile phone for it. It will not be confined to a single location. So the blended form of learning, as we can see, has had a lot of acceptance now. And people are actually increasingly using the blended form of online plus the offline traditional methods. It will be interactive. Basically, technology actually is going to enable all the interactive form of learning, including the AR, VR. And I think there is no limit to how interactive it can get because of technology. And it will be personalized. So data-driven cognitive systems will be able to make it personalized for a learner throughout his learning journey, his or her learning journey. A person can get to an end result by starting from anywhere, taking a completely different path for learning and still get to the same end result. So that is what is going to be the role of technology in making it personalized. To add to it is the future of work. So the future of work, as a lot of studies have pointed out, is going to be flat, which means that lesser hierarchy coming up. All students actually need to be ready to take better decisions at each level. It is going to be transparent. It will be on demand, which means essentially a project team could just come up and also go away, as and when the need arises. So it will be completely on demand. And it will be competitive because the entire globe could be the hiring ground for almost any employer now. So you can imagine the kind of competition that our students have to be ready for. Not to miss the National Education Policy 2020, which has set a steep target of about 50% by 2035. And I'm sure we all agree that that is not something that we can achieve in just the traditional methods of learning. We've also seen that the online education market in India is going to set to be really booming, and it's expected to reach about 5 billion by 2025, which is almost around the corner. By the time we finish the day today, I think it will be 2025. That's how fast time is moving. But I think it's also clear from the government steps that a lot of online skilling initiatives being designed around it. The reach that internet has started to have to every remote corner, the government itself is promoting a lot more of online education as compared to what it used to be. And I think we have had a few references of what AICTE has done, and I'm sure Sir is going to be speaking about that. But the NEET platform that has come out just a few years ago, the 1 crore digital skilling platform that has, both of these platforms have courses from IBM, but there's a lot of curation and good content that has been made available on this. So clearly there is a huge focus of getting students ready through skilling online. Internet itself is going to be reaching more than about 55% of reach that is going to happen by about 2025, which means the government is also focusing on the digital infrastructure that is there. To add to all of this, the credit system allows a learner to have an aggregate of all this learning and, to get credits from that. So I think all of this has given the right support that a student needs for both traditional plus the online blended form of learning. But I think last but not the least, and I know that another speaker as well spoke about this, we need to get our students to be, on the continuous learning path, because change is the only thing that is constant. And as Alvin Toffler has rightly put it, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So thank you so much. With that note, again, I welcome all of you all to this day of learning. I hope it's as fruitful it is for you as it has been for us so far. Thank you.